It's the news you've been waiting for. Seems like the courage Donald Trump displayed in the face of a failed attempt on his life has opened the floodgates, and more people are finding the grit to just say what they believe. It's exactly what Elon Musk has done, officially coming out with a complete endorsement of Donald Trump and putting his weight behind his electoral bid in November. Here's what Musk wrote on X just a few minutes after the reports of the visuals coming in from Pennsylvania, and I quote, "I fully endorse President Trump and I hope for his rapid recovery." The tweet was put out in the first few minutes of the attack and has garnered more than 200 million views so far, and that's especially because Elon Musk has kept a relatively low profile for his political leanings after being most critical of Joe Biden and Democratic policies in the last few years than being supportive of Trump. Musk then tweeted the now iconic picture of Donald Trump with his fist in the air, defiant in front of the threat of his own life. Elon Musk's endorsement of Donald Trump may just be the second most important event in that happened the day, since the sway and resources of someone like Musk on his side could be exactly what he needed in the months before the election. It's important to remember that both Donald Trump and Elon Musk have met more than a few times in person, but that has not stopped the media from lumping together the two of their most disliked characters in America for the modern left. In fact, Don Lemon had a pretty disastrous interview with Musk earlier this year before his deal with the X platform was canceled. And part of what frustrated Elon Musk was Don Lemon's insistence on prematurely getting an endorsement out of Musk during the interview. Just take a look at this.
So you're not going to endorse a candidate?
I may, in the final stretch, endorse a candidate, but I don't know yet. I want to make a considered decision before the election, and if I do decide to endorse a candidate, then I will explain exactly why.
Are you leaning towards anyone?
No.
You're not leaning towards anyone? Because you've been...
I'm leaning away from Biden.
You're leaning...
I've made no secret of that.
You are leaning away from Biden, but you're not going to endorse anyone. It seems like an endorsement of President Trump because there are only two people who are running now. Nikki Haley is out.
I mean, a lot could happen between now and the election, so we'll see who in the final analysis are the choices for president. And at that point, I may or may not endorse one of the candidates. If I do, I will provide a very detailed explanation of why I am endorsing one.
That's a smart response that doesn't give someone like Don any more ammo. There's certainly no doubt that Elon Musk has leveled harsh criticism on Joe Biden for disastrous policies on immigration, as well as calling him a tragic front for a far-left political machine. But even for a man who can move stock prices with his tweets, Elon Musk's verbal damage to Joe Biden still pales in comparison to what he's doing with an all-out endorsement of Donald Trump. For one, Don couldn't even help but ask if Musk endorsed Trump if he would also go as far as to support him financially in the nearly $500 million of legal expenses and fines that have stacked up for him in the legal case. Musk denied any such plans to even such a request by Donald Trump, but looking at the rapid shift at the tone towards Trump, perhaps we should never say never. Watch how he responded to Don just a few months ago and tell me if you expect a softer stance now that he's coming out with a full-force endorsement of Donald Trump.
Did he ask you for money?
He didn't.
Did he ask you for a donation?
No.
He didn't?
No.
You said you're not going to donate to any candidate.
That's correct.
Why not?
I think while I'll voice my opinion, I think I don't want to put a thumb on the scale monetarily that is, significant.
Are you going to loan him money to help pay his bills?
No,
not at all. Pay his legal bills.
I'm not paying his legal bills in any way, shape, or form.
And he did not ask you for money.
And he did not ask me for money.
Elon Musk in the last few days after the attack on Donald Trump has put out a whole host of tweets that throw his weight completely behind the former president's election bid. But even more so, we're seeing Musk in awe and admiration of Trump for displaying grit in the few seconds of the shot. He wrote on X, quote, "Last time America had a candidate this tough was Theodore Roosevelt." And it's not just mental toughness, but just the sheer physical strength to be able to absorb the shock and adrenaline and still want to signal to his supporters that he's all right. Considering the fact that he's almost 80, Americans got to see for the second time in a single month since the debate that there's a vast difference in the physical and mental strength of the two candidates they have in front of them. And it seems like the media as well have finally shed their veil of partiality and civility. Soon after Elon Musk's official endorsement, the Washington Post came out and lambasted pro-Trump billionaires for supposedly trying to shape a shooting narrative. And it's a shame that the Post would even go so far as doing that, considering it had hardly even been 24 hours since America grazed past the most potentially catastrophic political incident in decades. In a post on X responding to the Washington Post and saying that people should support Trump's resounding victory in November, Elon Musk simply replied, 100%. In fact, on the very same day of the attack on Donald Trump, Bloomberg magazine reported earlier in the morning that Elon Musk had donated a sizable amount to Pro-Trump America PAC, which works to help the former president gather momentum in swing states. But of course, since there's no word from Musk or corroborating reports, you'd have to decide if you take Bloomberg at its face for that, true or not. It does give you an interesting window into the greatest fear for the Democratic Party and the MSM. It's that a Trump-Musk alliance could prove to be the most powerful in America in a long time, with Donald Trump's influence on the political sphere, with Elon Musk's fortune of wealth. There were even reports earlier this year that Donald Trump has had inside conversations about giving Musk a role in his administration, potentially as an economic advisor to the president. If that ends up being true, that close cooperation between the two of the most powerful men in America may become too strong for the other side to challenge, especially not with much of the current crop of the Democratic leadership, including Joe Biden, and that seems like a trend that's not stopping anytime soon, whoever you agree with. One thing is undeniable, there's only one side in the current presidential race that's sure and confident about itself, and the Republicans uniting around Donald Trump. It's a trend that seems to have accelerated as Trump officially picks Ohio Senator and firebrand politician J.D. Vance as his running mate for 2024. There's even reports emerging that Vivek Ramaswamy may also have a role in the administration, potentially as press secretary or in some sort of media-facing role. That collection of people around Trump, which now includes Elon Musk, is becoming too strong to encounter a frail Joe Biden and an unsure Democratic Party. Elon Musk is one of the most disliked individuals in Hollywood, and then Donald Trump as the most disliked character in much of the liberal mainstream media will also have a lot to prove in the face of the resistance and ridicule, but the events that transpired on Saturday are sure to be catalysts for making them realize that fact. As the dust settles, it seems like a lot of loyalties are also becoming clearer as people realize it's not just worth it to delay where they really stand, but it remains to be seen what a potential alliance between Trump and Elon Musk can yield, not just for themselves, but for the people that support and put their hope in them. That's a burden that we'll have to live up to.